haul time, book haul time, book haul time. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you a book haul. I haven't done one in a minute and I have done some damage. Let me just give you an example of the damage I have done. We got a stack, a big, glorious, juicy book stack. I'm excited about all the books that I'm going to be going over today and sharing. I've got a wide range of books here, a bunch of random books, I'm not going to lie, but I'm excited for all of them nonetheless. Ha la 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 la. So excited! First up here I have Defend the Dawn by Bridget Kimmerer. Whoa, there's like dust flying in the sky. I'm getting distracted easily. I promise I do not have ADHD. A lot of you guys are like, do you have ADHD? No, I don't. You know what I do have though? I have coffee. This is why I'm like this. I'm sorry, but also I'm not sorry at all. This is the sequel to Defy the Night. Defy the Night. And this is also the Booksplosion book of the month for the month of October, and this month we are working with Bloomsbury. Defy the Night was one of my favorite books from last year, and so I'm super excited to be continuing on with the series. Look at me go, guys. I'm committing to the series. I'm reading the sequel, something that will finally keep me on track with the series. I'll take it. Defy the Night was one of my favorite fantasies from last year because it's just such an accessible fantasy, and it's also just really fun, and I loved all the characters. So let me tell you a little bit about it. In Defy the Night, we are following the kingdom of Kala. It's not Kala. What is it? Kamala? Kandala. Oh, wow, I was off. In Defy the Night, we are following the kingdom of Kandala, and basically it has been plagued with disaster, like full-on disaster. People are dying, sickness is filling the air, cough cough, sneeze sneeze, death. That's what's happening. A young prince has come into power after the assassination of the king, and it's led to poor decisions being made within the kingdom, because bro doesn't know what he's doing. He's like, I just inherited a kingdom. How does this work? We follow Tessa, who is tired of seeing all this sickness. She's tired of her neighbors just like falling over and dying. She's like, I've had enough of this. So she decides that she is going to sneak into the kingdom and get this moon elixir, which is the cure to the plague that's occurring. But when she gets into the kingdom, she realizes that it is just a mess, and she's gonna be the one to clean it up. If you love YA fantasy that's like filled with adventure, excitement, Defy the Night, baby, okay? That's what I'm saying, Defy the Night. Gotta get on this series. It's a super loose retelling of Robin Hood, and it's really fun to like pick up on the little strings that tie it back to Robin Hood. The thing that I really liked about Defy the Night too is the fact that it does kind of like tie up in the end. Like, it's a book where you read it and you're like satisfied by the ending. It's not one of those like cliche plot twists, shocking cliffhangers. It doesn't throw you into a spiral of book mourning. It just ties things together nicely, but it leaves a lot of things open where you're like, I could do with a second book. And I'm glad we're getting a second book because there were a lot of things in here that I wanted more from, so I'm hoping this delivers that. I highly recommend checking out Defy the Night and then following through with Defend the Dawn. Even though I haven't read this yet, you should read it with us. Booksplosion. Our live show will probably be early November, so keep your eyes peeled for that date. Since I was super hyped up on Defend the Dawn releasing, I decided to just like pick up the Bridget Kimmerer books that I haven't picked up yet. So I picked up A Vow So Bold and Deadly, which is the final book in the Curse Breakers series. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. The first book being A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and the second book being A Heart So Fierce and Broken. Now, it's been a few years since I've read A Curse So Dark and Lonely, like 2 or 3 years. I think we're leaning on 3 years now, but I love that book a lot, and it's one of those books that's like stuck with me. Like, I remember pretty much every little detail that happens within that plot, which is not something that happens often with books. Like, sometimes I'll read a book and poof, 5 minutes after I read it, gone. I don't remember what happened in that book. But I think it's a testament to how much I love a book when I can remember it years and years later. So I am super excited to continue on with the series. Essentially, the Curse Breaker series is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, very loose. We follow this girl named Harper, who is just going through a really rough patch in life, specifically with her family, and one day she sees this girl being taken captive, like being kidnapped, and she's like, nuh-uh-uh, get your musty hands off that girl! And in doing so, Harper ends up being the girl that's taken captive. What she doesn't know is that she's being taken to this other world, essentially. The guy who took her works as a high commander for the kingdom of Emberfall. Every year, Gray, the high commander, goes into the real world and takes a girl back to Emberfall in hopes that they will break the curse that overlays the kingdom. This curse being that the leader of Emberfall, Ren, has these moments where he ends up turning into a monster, and they want to stop that from happening. They want to break the curse. This was another situation where, again, for me, my attachment to this series is the characters. Not even the characters like Gray. Gray alone, also Harper. I really love Harper. Gray and Harper, they're the reason why I want to get caught up with this series, because I loved them so deeply, specifically Gray. Like, Gray, there's so much to his character, so much I haven't even unlocked yet. Like, I just know what I know from book 1. And that's not very much, because he wasn't even a main character, but I feel like with how book 1 ended, he's gonna be a main character. He's gonna be the it boy. He's gonna be the cover model. He is going to be the main character. Not the main character, I don't think. I think Harper's gonna be the main character still. But he's gonna be a big part of the rest of the trilogy, so I'm looking forward to getting back into this one and finishing up the series with A Vow So Bold and Deadly. But it doesn't stop there. Then I picked up Forgiving Silver into Stars. This is a spin-off of the Cursebreaker series. I'm hesitant to look at the description for this one because I don't know who it follows. I don't know which characters from that book it follows, and I feel like it could spoil me. That would be devastating for me to read the description on this and have it spoil the Cursebreaker series, so I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna do that to myself. I just hope Gray is in this series as well. If you've read this and he's in here, you can let me know. If he's not in here, don't let me know. Actually, if I don't get comments at all about this book, then I'll know that Gray isn't in it, and that'll make me sad. I don't know if I want that. I hope Gray is in this series, but I'm gonna try my best not to get my hopes up, because I feel like he's probably not gonna be in it. Please be in it, Gray. Please be in it. I'm rooting for you. Next up here, I got Miss Peregrine's Museum of Wonders, an indispensable guide to the dangers and delights of the peculiar world for the instruction of new arrivals. I didn't even realize how long the title of this book was. I just thought it was Miss Peregrine's Museum of Wonders, but that title is unnecessarily long. You know what makes me really sad is that there was a pre-order incentive for this, and I never sent in my receipt, so I did not get the pre-order incentive. All it was like a poster and a bookmark, but I wanted it. If it's peculiar, I want it. I have like a full-on peculiar collection going. Now my collection's incomplete. What a tragedy. Tragic. Jesse's Museum of Tragedies. This is literally what the title says it is. It is a guide on the peculiar world, and it is visually stunning. Like, it's so beautiful, and I'm so excited to get into this and just explore more about the peculiar world that I might not know about. I'm wondering how much is in here that wasn't included in the series, because I feel like there's a lot to the peculiar world in general, and I hope that this just kind of expands on the world. I'm still very sad that I didn't get that bookmark and poster, and there were also influencers that got influencer boxes, and I'm just a little sad because I didn't get one, but you know what? It's okay. It's fine. I don't need it. My heart just hurts a little bit. It's fine. Next up, I picked up this book, These Ghosts Are Family. I got it from the bargain section at Books A Million. Can I just say that Books A Million is like super underrated? Their bargain section is fire. Literal fire. Well, not literal fire, because fire and books do not mix, but it's amazing. Like, one of the best bargain sections ever. Like, the Barnes & Noble bargain section does not compare to the Books A Million bargain section. I said what I said. I also don't know why we like hold Barnes & Noble so highly when Books A Million is right there and is so amazing. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Justice for Books A Million. All that to say, I picked up a few books from their bargain section. This is a book that I had my eye on for a long time. It's called These Ghosts Are Family. I think, honestly, I thought this was going to be more of a spooky book, and I was excited to pick it up to read it in the month of October. But I don't think it actually is a spooky book like I thought it was. It's more of like a meaningful, heartfelt book. In this book, we follow Stanford, who has been keeping a secret for 30 years. That being that he faked his own death and stole the identity of one of his friends. That's a lot to swallow. But now that he is nearing the end of his life, he is ready to reveal his truth. His daughter that he's never met works as a health aide, and guess who ends up taking care of him near the end of his life? His daughter. And he's about to turn her world upside down. Like, full on upside down. I can't even imagine experiencing something like that. I just want to know, like, why he decided to do this. Why did he decide to fake his own death? There's gotta be a reason. Why did he steal his best friend's identity? I need the tea. Spill it all over me. I really need to stop, like, reading into titles, though, because I saw ghosts, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be spooky. Perfect for spooky season. The other book that I got from the bargain section is A Wicked Magic. This is a book that I've been wanting for a long time as well, so I'm glad I held out because I found it at the bargain section. Sometimes it's worth waiting out picking up books. I'm just saying. Sometimes you strike gold in the bargain section. In this book, we follow Dan and Liz, who are witches, and one day a spell goes wrong and it ends up killing Liz's boyfriend. This causes a rift between Dan and Liz. Liz obviously wants nothing to do with Dan, and Dan's like, this is not my fault. How dare you blame me? It takes two to tango. But months later, Liz finds out that her boyfriend is alive. He's just being held captive by an ancient force. So Liz comes running back to Dan and is like, yo, we gotta team up and get my boyfriend back. And Dan's like, excuse me, you left me high and dry. And she's like, I don't care, my boyfriend's alive. So they come back together and work together to bring back her boyfriend and break down this evil force. A concept that I love with books is like magic gone wrong. You have these characters that cast a spell and it brings on chaos into their lives, and they have to figure out how to get out of the mess. Like, that is just so much fun for me. Like, I love seeing characters be tortured. I don't love seeing characters be tortured, but I just love seeing characters being thrust into like this dark magical situation and having to get themselves out of it. I feel like a lot of the times I like read the book and I'll be like comparing what I think I would do in their situation if I had magical powers. I'm like, I wouldn't do that. Take 2 steps back. Gotta do this. And it's like, it doesn't matter. I'll never have magical powers. I'll never be in a magical situation like this, but I'm over here like barking orders in my head and they're not listening, you know? That's the frustrating part, is that the characters never listen to me. Honestly though, if I ever had magical abilities, I'd probably be in the same situation as these characters. I'd be poofing my best friends left and right. All my friends watching this right now are like, excuse me? Don't worry, I'll never be the chosen one who ends up with magical powers, so you don't gotta worry. Next up, I picked up the Mary Shelley Club. This story follows Rachel, who is this new girl at school, and she's having a hard time fitting in. It's a school full of rich kids, and she's just having a hard time relating to anybody. But when she learns about the Mary Shelley Club, she thinks that she has found her group of people. It's a group of students who create these fear tests and commit these elaborate pranks around the school. But will things go south the deeper she gets entangled within this group? I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. Yes, it will go south. But that's what I want to happen. Like, if it went another direction, I probably wouldn't want it. If it was just like easy breezy, lemon squeezy, I don't want that. I want the chaos. I want the drama. I want the pain. I want the torture. Anyway, I picked this one up because I'm wanting to read more spooky books during October. I have already started this one and I'm really enjoying it so far. I did pick this one up on a TikTok recommendation. One day I was just scrolling and saw somebody talking about this book and I was intrigued. So I hope I enjoy it. Next up, I picked up Amari and the Night Brothers. I feel a middle grade resurgence coming back to me soon, where all I want to do is read magical middle grade stories, and this is one that I want to read. When Amari's brother goes missing, she is so frustrated with the fact that the public is not taking his disappearance seriously. When she discovers this ticking briefcase in her brother's closet, she finds out that it's a nomination of oh crap, what's it called? It's a nomination for a summer tryout at the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs. Basically like this secret magical organization situation. Amari is about to uncover this world of magic while also doing everything she can to track down her brother. Does that just not sound so amazing? I love stories where there's like magic in it and there's like a sibling element where like the sibling would do anything to help or find or track down their sibling. I love when that is an element that comes into play so strongly in books, because I just love the sibling dynamic in stories. I think it's a lot of fun to follow. And it's one of those connections that has a lot of layers to it. It just sounds like an epic adventure, and I've been in a mood for a book like this for a long time now, so it's time that I act on that mood and dive into this one. Let me dive on in. Next up here, I've got Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. No, just 3 tomorrows. The sun will come out tomorrow. Truth be told, I don't know too much about this one, but I'm gonna just read this line from the blurb that was telling enough. It says, often in love but never lovers come together as creative partners in the world of video game design, where success brings them fame, joy, tragedy, duplicity, and ultimately a kind of immortality. The reason I picked this book up though is because I read The Storied Life of A.J. Thickery by Gabrielle Zevin, and it is one of my all-time favorite books. Like, that book soared to the top of my favorites list. It said, I am that book. I am the it book. I am the book main character. Let me fly to the top of your favorites list. And if this is anything like The Storied Life of A.J. Thickery, it'll be a mix of heartwarming and heartbreaking, and that I'm in for. Next up, I went on a bit of a Snicket splurge because I realized that there were some Lemony Snicket books that I haven't picked up yet. First up here, we've got Read Something Else, Collected and Dubious Wit and Wisdom of Lemony Snicket. This is literally just a bunch of quotes of his with like illustrations alongside them, and I love his snarky quotes, so I'm super excited about this. Then I picked up Poison for Breakfast, and honestly, I read the description and it told me nothing about this book. I don't know what this book is about. I'm gonna have to find out in the reading process. But I literally read the description and I was like, oh, okay, you're not gonna tell me anything. And this one has been out for a while, but it's The Lump of Coal. This is just a picture book that Lemony Snicket put out about a lump of coal who can think, talk, and move itself around. There's something so charming about how small it is. I thought it was going to be like this big picture book, but it's so small, so tiny, so little. And the last book that I picked up here is Disney's Hocus Pocus, illustrated by Gris Grimley. This is literally just a novelization of the movie Hocus Pocus, which if you know anything about me, I am obsessed with Hocus Pocus. It's one of my favorite Halloween movies, but outside of that, it's also just one of my favorite like comfort movies. Like, I find so much comfort in it. Gris Grimley is actually one of my favorite illustrators, so the fact that he illustrated this makes me super excited, and I feel like his illustration style just suits this story so well, so I'm super excited to dive into this and to see more of his illustrations as I read the book. book. That is it for my big and juicy book haul, my big and juicy book stack that I have shared with you. I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. Let me know if you guys have picked up any of these books and have read them. If you have, let me know your thoughts on them. If not, let me know down below in the comments some books that you have picked up recently that you're super excited about. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, yo!